All right, we are live.
What's up, Stan?
How are you, Menace?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
We're doing a late night to get it in, just because, working when it's hot and when it's windy equals overtime, which equals money in my pocket.
Oh, well, I was going to say, Menace likes getting things in.
Yeah, but we don't have too many more episodes left.
Till what?
You're on borrowed time, my friend.
Oh, what? Did we change? I thought it was 3:33.
Yeah, it is, but I don't think you're going to make it that far.
Oh, why? I think I'm going to die.
Yes.
Might.
Do you want to tell people anything?
Well, I mean, they know. I talked about it a little bit with you last episode that you were here. I talked about it a little bit with Al, but yeah, I got that COVID.
You tested positive.
I tested positive for COVID.
You said you think you had it.
No, I said...
You said you went for the test. You didn't say that you tested positive.
Yes, but I told you I knew I had it. I was just waiting for the results. And now, so they have like a rapid test, and then they have 2-3 day test. But for some reason, my test was taking fucking forever. And then
how long from when you went for the test to you get your results?
I think it was like 13 days it wound up being. Which isn't, or...
I think it's deem you not important.
12 days, yeah. Because they were like Black Lives Matter.
Where do you live? Lindenhurst? All right.
White Lives Matter. All these other lives matter. Fuck Stan, pretty much. But then I went on Instagram and I saw I told you, Mick Foley. And I saw some people like, oh no, I didn't get my fucking results either for 10 days or 11 days. But it took 12 days, I believe, before I got...
Your levels keep going in and out.
Do they?
Of your voice, yeah.
All right. How is it now?
It's on the low side now.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when it goes high again.
How is it now?
Now it's high.
Too high or fine?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I'll lower that a little bit, actually. Yeah.
But, yeah, and I was just thinking about it just now before we went live. I was like, man, if Stan died... I would get a tattoo in your honor, Stan.
Would you?
Yeah, I would get the Menace and the Man, and I would get when the show started to when you died.
Oh, like EST? Ever since the time of, or whatever that is?
Well, EST is established. So that would be established, and that would be the first date when we started.
Ah. Look at the big brain on Menace.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
And then I would find a different co-host and try to keep it rolling.
Yeah. That'd be easy for you.
You know what? I think it'd be easy to fill the Man. I think it'd be hard to find someone to do all the production.
Absolutely. But not...
You think I'm reaching in my pocket?
I mean, not really. It probably wouldn't be as hard as you think. But we'll get there, probably. I'm probably, so people, it's funny, the news and people, they have no fucking clue about COVID, Corona, whatever you want to call it. And then they don't know if you can catch it twice, but I'm like, Danielle's mom pretty much caught it twice, right?
No.
No? I thought she did.
She tested positive multiple times.
Yeah, but no, didn't she?
Tested false one time and then positive again after that, but the false might have been a false negative.
But didn't she have a moment where she was okay, and then she woke up and her eyes were all puffy and...
Yes, there was a couple days after her fever broke to where her eyes got puffy and her blood pressure started getting high.
Yeah, I haven't had that. So even that.
But she's older.
Yeah.
And he also never left the house though from after the fever.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to catch it a second time, she had no interaction with any new people.
Yeah.
So
So I was like, fuck. As soon as oh, hold on. So the mixer's been doing that too lately. You heard that little buzz just now? Yeah, I don't know what it's from. I gotta just play with some shit. But so I just was like, on Sunday, whatever it was, like Sunday, I forget the date. All of a sudden, I just got fucking hit with it, and I was like, oh shit, I think I'm sick. I feel really like shit right now. And then went downstairs.
Did it come on slow or just like...
Came on like that.
What the fuck?
It came on from where I first felt like, ooh, I feel a little fucked up, to at night, I was like, whoa, I have the worst headache I've ever had.
How much time? 30 minutes? 3 hours?
4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
4 or 5
so
hours.
We're like, man, I don't feel amazing, to like, I think I'm gonna die. 5 hours?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for everybody at home that thinks like, because everyone, if they have a cough, like, oh, is that it?
Yeah. COVID? Right now, everything is COVID.
Yeah, I saw a meme today, like, can people actually get normal sick, or do they only get COVID now?
Everything's COVID now.
Real quick, because I know you're into fucking weird shit and conspiracies and whatever. What is this with, like, Twitter or YouTube taking down videos of this chick who's like, yep, found the cure to, like, a lot of shit?
So, like, once you say something, people are immediately going to Google you and then be like, what else crazy have you said? Or how can I defame you or fuck with you in some way? So the lady that
who's a legit doctor, by the way, right?
But she's like an African doctor. So she's into like some like, she's like overly Christian.
Okay.
So that's what people immediately Googled and found, is that she believes in like demon sperm and like some crazy shit. Like they just found some like...
You can be like a genius to the molecular level.
And just be religious, yeah.
But like think other crazy shit that there's no science behind.
Yeah. And so even that, like here's what's crazy too. So like people are immediately, if you don't like Trump, you're like, oh no, this is bullshit. He's an idiot. This is all bullshit, But
yeah, but why did Twitter take it down?
Twitter took it down because...
Isn't that like a place where you can do anything?
No, because right now on all forums...
They fact-checked her or some shit?
All forms of social media, you're not allowed to spread misinformation about coronavirus. Everywhere. Like, there's algorithms on YouTube that right now that if you have coronavirus in your thing at all, it puts up, and even like you've seen it on Instagram, if you have any type of coronavirus or COVID, it puts a link to the CDC. Have you seen that?
I see like a little like banner at the top of.
So if you put out a video or a post like, I don't know about the coronavirus, what's going on with it? They'll post a link to the CDC, which is kind of fucked up. It's like, all right, I'm supposed to get all my information from these people. So even like, they're now trying to discredit that lady for saying hydroxychloroquine, or I forget how you pronounce it. But
right.
Because Trump says that saw some studies or was told by a doctor that it worked. So now... Like
imagine if George Washington wrote something on a piece of paper and someone was like, nope. Ripped it, threw it out, like, what you wrote isn't real. Like, that person would probably be beheaded, right?
Nancy Pelosi did that. You never see that?
George Washington?
No, probably. She's old enough. But to Trump, she did like, he wrote like his State of the Union.
No, what I'm saying is like...
You're talking about medicine.
Nowadays, people are like, you can't do anything to me. Like...
I mean, what you just said about the coronavirus and stuff like that, Nancy Pelosi did it a few months ago. Trump...
Like, I would bet a lot of money that George Washington, while he was president, probably beat up a couple people. Himself.
Yeah, probably. He was like a war general and
like
stuff.
Like, someone said something to him, he's like, what?
Yeah. back then, like, shit was cool and you could fucking, oh, you're talking shit? Oh, you're saying some dumb shit about me? I'm gonna snuff you in the fucking mouth. Now we live in this fucked up culture where it's like, nah, you can't. I'm sensitive.
Like, if you hurt me, then you hurt my feelings.
Like, oh, no, I don't want police, and I want to defund the police, but if you hit me, I'm calling the cops. That's the world we live in right now.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like, one of my favorites was Chris Wade, when we had him on a couple weeks ago, that was the first thing he went into. Like, oh, my feelings. And he was saying how people are now all up in their feelings and, like, everything affects them and whatnot. That's what this Trump. So even that, you have insight, you know, your girl's mom had the coronavirus. You've been around it.
He's good.
I have firsthand experience. I have it. I've had it. Supposedly they called me up and said I'm in the clear now. I can come out of quarantine.
Have you had it for 2 weeks, or you got the results, but you already had it and been in quarantine for what, 11 days? 13 days?
I first noticed symptoms on the 12th. So the 12th, I quarantined myself. And then I went to the doctor on the 14th when I started feeling better. And then I got the results my results finally came in on the 26th. And then when my results came in, the Suffolk County Department of Health, we live in New York, Suffolk County is where we live, they called me up, asked me a bunch of questions, and they were like, by our records, you're good to come out of quarantine. And I was like, all right, am I still contagious? They were like, if you're not showing any more symptoms, then you shouldn't be contagious. And I was like, well, I stopped showing symptoms after like day 2. You know, day 3, I was fine. Or at least I felt fine. I wasn't, like, even...
Like you said, you were getting tired quickly.
Yeah, so I guess that could be symptoms. But that was when we recorded that last Tuesday. 2 Tuesdays ago. So that was 2-3 days after. And I haven't had any other symptoms since then. I mean, knock on wood that it doesn't come back and I get all fucked up again. But yeah. But even back to the Trump thing. So yeah, Twitter. So what happened was Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, but dude, that's some like money political shit, no?
Yeah. Even like, so when this all happened, Dr. Fauci, the guy Anthony Fauci, he came out and said, Trump could believe what he wants. I'm going to go with the FDA. The FDA is the biggest fucking industry of crooks and fucking pay me and I'll say whatever the fuck you want. So even that. So I'm going to have to research it and take everything that they say with a grain of salt. Because these are the same motherfuckers that were saying CBD and THC had no medical effects. And they were fine classifying it as a drug, Schedule 1 narcotic up until a few years ago, you know? Because they couldn't corner the market. Like they couldn't put a patent on marijuana and Big Pharma couldn't corner that market. So basically what happens is like Big Pharma pays the FDA. The FDA is funded by someone. They're funded by the pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical companies design drugs for whatever the illness is, and the FDA then approves. Oh, no. Oh, so this is good? Yeah, we approve it. How much do you guys got for us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, they're like the CDC.
But meanwhile, the people that are actually doing tests, like, listen, all my loved ones do not take this.
Well, there's mixed results.
As FDA approved, but don't take it.
There's doctors that are saying hydroxychloroquine, whatever the fuck it is, doesn't work, and the studies are inconclusive. Then there's other doctors that are like, no, this works. But then even I heard Joe Rogan.
What is it, a pill?
It's a pill. So so basically they say like a drug cocktail works to help prevent you catching the coronavirus and then works in the early.
Yeah, but I mean, this is from one of my work buddies. He was saying like it might like end diabetes. It like is good for like asthma. Like
what, the hydroxychloroquine?
Yeah,
it could
like help with the underlying.
It's used for lupus, malaria, and I think something else. I forget what. But those are serious things you could die from and get seriously fucked up from.
Yeah.
So it's obvious, and then even that's like something Trump says, and then people rip him apart with that. He says like it's a proven drug. People could take it. People have taken it for many years for other illnesses. I took it. Not that I took it. Trump says he took it. He's not going to die. And then like people just go to the fucking, the woods with that. And they're like, oh, he's a fucking idiot. I don't know what, you don't know what to
Anyway,
believe.
you want to talk about fighting a little bit?
Yeah.
How about my boy Verdum?
Oh man, Verdum. That I almost had another big win with my parlay. How I like to call out those big parlays.
You had Verdum on the losing side?
No, I had Verdum winning that fight. I said that publicly on the show as well. I thought Verdum. So Marvin Vittori picked Verdum. Alp was like, I think Gustaf.
He trained with him.
Yeah, Alp was like, I think Gustafsson's going to win, but he's not counting Verdum out. I was like, I think Verdum wins that fight. And then I told Cracker Zach, I told a few people, like, oh no, I think, I got Verdum in this one.
Well, it's weird because, I mean, in my head, when I first saw the match, I'm like, man, Gustafsson gave Jones, like, a run. A real, you know what I mean? And I was like, if Jones fought Verdum, I just think he's just too fast, like.
That was Jones mailing it in, though. That was Jones doing cocaine and partying and hookers and whatever he's into. So Gustafsson, the first fight, he gave him problems.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
So this was John.
Like you said, if John Jones figures, he's like, all right, now I know what I gotta do.
But here, so John Jones is partying. He's not training 100% serious. He's living his life. And then, I fight on weekends. You know what I mean? I train a little bit and I fight on weekends. Gustafsson was nice the first fight. They got at the weigh-ins. It was face off, interviews, I got John Jones. He's tough and respect. Then when they rematched, he was talking shit. Oh no, I won the first fight. John's a drug cheat, shit like that. So Jones was like, oh, were you talking shit? All right. I don't know if you know how they do it in the Jones household, but
now I'm gonna try.
Yeah, now you're getting fucked up, and he fucked him up. So I'm not saying Gus is bad. I think Gus is really good, but I think John Jones is another level.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
and to quit, Verdum's ground game is another level.
Yes, Verdum ground game, and that's when I saw that matchup. I was like, I can see some I don't know what I'm drawing blank. Who's the Russian king, the emperor?
Fedor.
I can see some Fedor shit going on where he gets armbarred, and sure enough, he gets armbarred.
Yeah, he did good. He went for a takedown in a scramble, jumped right on his back. Did you watch the fight? Did you?
I had to work.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all it was. A little bit of striking, a minute or two of striking. Scramble, took his back. Immediately, fished for a choke. Wasn't there. Was like, all right, I'm going armbar.
Yeah.
And then it was a minute to the armbar. Verdum.
He didn't retire, did he?
No. Who? Verdum or Gustafsson?
Both. Or up for.
No, Verdum fought out his contract. And is now, I'm assuming he.
Right. Me and you, I think you sent me a link and I saw it online where yeah, he's going to fight out his contract, which I thought he was saying I've had enough.
No, I think he wants so even him, it's either him or Stipe are the greatest heavyweight of all time. Yeah. Verdum has a resume of,
Yes.
A very impressive resume.
I'm going to say, until Stipe gets to be Verdum's age, it's Stipe, or it's Verdum.
On paper, you could say, if Stipe could beat DC and go on another little run of title defenses, then it's going to be Stipe.
Well, it's weird. For example, beating the Emperor is,
when he beat him, yeah, too.
Yeah, and when he beat him was, insane.
That, he also has... has the Cain Velasquez win when Cain was...
That's right.
When people were talking about Cain the way they're talking about Stipe now. Oh, he's the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's got... He beat Nogueira. Granted, Nogueira was a little older at that point, but Verdum's got a very impressive resume.
Little Nog retired.
Little Nog... Bro, he was 44. I didn't know he was that old. Like the way we were talking.
0-3 on the Cholo dude was like, all right, enough.
Yeah, that's tough too because both of the first fight was a war, but Shogun won it, and then the second.
Shogun's just a more well-rounded striker. Like Nogueira can throw hands like a motherfucker, but Shogun starts putting those kicks in there and shit.
The second and third fight were pretty close. Like if they would have went the other way, it would have been like, oh, all right, he won. Like they weren't, But
they're both getting older.
44. Like I didn't realize he was that old.
How old is Shogun? He's gonna be 40 something.
38, which is old too. Especially I think John Jones has shown for the last 10 years, but now John Jones is 33. 205 has been a young man's division. Like 5 years ago, Gustafsson was like in his mid-20s, late 20s.
Yeah.
Like even that, I didn't think that would, like, just the style, I didn't think, I feel like the best guys at heavyweight, you have to be able to grapple. And like, not takedown defense, you have to be able to grapple. You know what I mean? Like maybe he does have better grappling than that, but all I've seen from Gustafsson is defensive wrestling.
So who's this new guy that's just all over my feed? In my head, I thought he was Russian, but he's from...
He is Russian, or he's from some part of Russia.
Yes. And he's got like a cleft lip.
The guy who is he's talking shit about Conor McGregor. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah. What weight class is he at, first off?
He fought his first fight at 85, and then he dropped down a week later to 70. So he's a 70-pounder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm like, man, this guy looks fucking really big for 155. And I just, while running through my, timeline, I've seen Khabib's name thrown there a little bit. And I was like,
Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, he trains, I think he is...
Trains with Khabib, no?
No, he trains in Sweden with, like, Gustafsson.
Okay.
And, like, Alir Latifi. But, I mean, now don't get me wrong, he could be the next coming of Khabib or...
Well, the amount of love he just got this, like, during this week, I'm like, whoa, what did this guy do that was so insane? He beat a nobody, right?
Yeah, just two dominant performances, but that's where I'm at, too. It's like, okay, who would he beat? Reese McKee, have you ever heard of him? Never heard of him. Neither did I. When they were about to fight, it's like, oh... And then even the talk of it was like, oh, this guy's UFC debut. So, like, even Chaz Skelly had the previous record for quickest wins in the UFC. Like, I think it was like whatever. I don't know the exact number. But this guy now broke that record, and the record now was like 11 days or something. They gave him a fucking gimme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they would have gave him a tougher stylistic matchup or a better guy... He might not have won, Give
him Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, like something like that. Like if you're going to have this guy take a record that's probably never going to be broken again now, and they gave him a record pretty much. Granted, fighting can be unpredictable, but
it's pretty unpredictable.
I mean, maybe I'm biased, and I was just hoping Chaz Skelly.
They definitely didn't give him a record. You got to do something.
I mean, they kind of did. They were like, here, we're going to give you. A good stylistic matchup, a guy who's never fought in the UFC before. Like
this last fight.
Yeah. But I mean, the guy that he fought was 10-3. He's 8-0. So I mean, I get, not a total gimme, but even that, his first fight was not a gimme. That guy that he fought the first time was tough. But I'll try to get him on the show. I think he's managed by Ali.
Okay.
And he speaks English. I listened to like 2 minutes of an interview with him today. But yeah, he's from Sweden.
I'm just like, man, there's a lot of rave on this guy. Let me see. I tried looking for some highlights. I looked him up. He's got like 200,000 followers.
You know how fight fans are, though. They just jump on. That's like, we have one video where we talked about, I put the headline, can anyone beat Khabib? And people don't even watch the video. Or they do watch 2 seconds of the video, and they come on saying, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Nobody's beating Khabib. It's like, watch the fucking video. And then if you watch the video and you see the one moment where I say Conor McGregor won a round against Khabib, people fucking jump down my throat about that. He didn't win. And then Chael has a video where he's like, oh, Conor won a round, and nobody fucking jumps down Chael's throat. Or they do, but Chael just doesn't read it or pay attention.
This is probably true.
Yeah. But they announced he's definitely a stud, don't get me wrong, but the jury's still out. He's only 2-0.
In the UFC.
In the UFC. He's good, though. He's got really good ground game. His two opponents, I think he's outlanded them like some ridiculous number, like 200-2 or something like that. Something fucking crazy. So, yeah, he's really good. But then, also on that card, Carl Esparza versus Marina Rodriguez. Are you familiar with Marina Rodriguez?
I'm not.
She was undefeated, and she was like a prospect in the 115-pound division.
Carl just shut it right down. Well, no, like, she's not undefeated anymore. That's what I meant.
Yeah, controversial judging. Like, the fight could have went either way. I'm not upset that Carla won. I was rooting for Carla. I picked
Carla. She's been on the show.
Yeah, I picked Carla in the fight, but it was just one of those.
That was on a little tear, huh?
Carla's in the mix right now. I think she's won 4 in a row. But where people were saying, like, Carla didn't do any damage, and the other girl did damage. The other girl only landed, like, 3 or 4 strikes, and they just damaged Carla a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, elbows from the bottom and shit. And then where Carla made the fight closer was she kept going for fucking leg locks. So, like, at the end of the first and second round, she dropped down for a leg lock. And then wound up not getting it, being on bottom, and getting hit up a little bit, you know? But it's one of those fights where the scoring Senate would be a good conversation for that. If we ever get that gentleman on. Like, it was, you know...
Yeah, she's like, I've rolled with her. She's strong for a little girl, for sure.
Who, Carla?
Yeah.
Well, something Carla has that I've only seen really out of, like, Tatiana Suarez is chain wrestling. So, like, you'll stuff a takedown, and then she has a couple of other avenues she's going to go down.
Yeah.
But solid performance, but controversial scoring a little bit. And then Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till. I've seen people say that fight could have went either way as well. I had Robert Whittaker winning, but I see a lot of people saying they thought Darren Till won.
I had a bunch of my wrestling college buddies watch it, and they said they had Whittaker winning.
Mm-hmm. Close fight, competitive fight. Like, 30 seconds in, Till dropped Whittaker with an elbow.
First period.
30 seconds in. Rocked his whole shit with an elbow.
Damn.
Yeah.
People were probably like, what?
Yeah. And then the first round was Till, and you saw Whittaker was uncomfortable. Then the second round, he started finding some range, some rhythm, and then he dropped Till with a right hand. And then it wound up just being like a chess match, but I had Whittaker winning. And then even something I saw today that I almost commented on, but then I didn't. I think it was Chris Schlesinger who posted it. They were saying how, so Darren Till thinks the front kick should be outlawed.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Have you ever thrown a front kick and, like, with intent in landing it? It's fucking really hard to hit.
Yeah. Let's outlaw punches to the head, heel hooks.
I went into that. I read, like, some rebuttals. And one guy was like, yeah, let's take out punches then, because...
Yeah.
You know, you could kick someone in the head and do, like, permanent damage where they're not the same. Or, okay, you kick their knee back, fight gets ended, you know, you get your knee fixed.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing move. And, like, so if you're stalking somebody...
It's a great check. It keeps you in check.
Yeah, like, you're trying to give me brain damage, but I can't kick you in the fucking knee?
Yeah, fuck out of here.
Yeah, so I wasn't a fan of that. Or just that even Darren Till, like, so after you got fucked up a little bit by it, and you got your knee blown out by it, you're like, oh no, that move sucks. That move should be outlawed.
Yeah.
Come up with some defense, bro.
Don't be so goddamn fucking heavy-footed and flat-footed.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do that to someone if they're constantly moving.
Yeah, he was stalking the shit out of Whittaker, and then Whittaker started throwing it, and I bet he stopped stalking as hard after that.
Yeah, worked.
But big fight that just got announced: Khabib versus Gaethje.
Gaethje for what? October
24th. No date yet. I mean, no venue yet. I'm very intrigued by that one.
Is this Khabib's last one?
No, Khabib said that he's going to do what his father wanted him to do, and he's going to retire at 30-0. And then Dana White came out and was like, if he wins this next fight and he wants George St. Pierre for his last fight, or whoever he wants, it's up to him. So he'll let Khabib.
I saw the George St. Pierre. Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje.
Bro, they were looking past Gaethje a little bit with that Tony fight, I felt too. And they were like, oh no, we're going to get to Khabib Tony right after this.
Okay, what happens if Gaethje wins? Does he retire right there on the spot?
Who,
Gaethje? Does he kill himself, commit suicide? Does he...
Yeah. And even
does he have to win 30 more fights in a row?
So there's two people in fighting with like the most loyal fan base. Like if you say anything about them, you get
Conor McGregor and Khabib.
Yeah. And you get and Masvidal's starting to get there where he has that like fan base too. But Gaethje is now going to fight Khabib. If you say Gaethje's going to win, you got to be prepared for, what are you, fucking stupid? What the fuck's, like just people saying, like, you don't know anything about fighting. He definitely has better stand-up, Gaethje, than Khabib.
Yeah.
He definitely has more knockout power.
Definitely? Yeah. He slept people. Khabib's only knocked Conor down.
And he only knocked Conor down because Conor had zero respect for his stand-up.
Right.
Conor was walking at him in a championship fight with his hands down.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen if a guy just fucking bites down and throws a big overhand right? At the end, it happens to land.
Well, he did fake the shot.
Yeah. All right, but
it was a proper setup.
Yeah, but Conor had his hands down, and
he also didn't see the shot hitting. It was like,
yeah, like I think. Don't get me wrong. I think Khabib's got good stand up. I think his stand up's even, if you're looking at it unbiased and you're not a Khabib nut hugger, he's got good stand up. It's not the worst, but it's also not his.
Gaethje's cardio is superb. Superb. I think he could win.
He's not a huge underdog. Like he's 2-1. But
already.
Yeah. But usually it would start bigger and then get smaller.
Yeah.
So he's only 2-1. But I'm gonna be crazy. I think Gaethje is the toughest stylistic matchup for Khabib.
Because for Gaethje, he doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't care.
Can wrestle. Has been wrestling since he was 4. Gaethje, like we've talked about it a few times, like there's some...
For Khabib, like I just said, if he loses...
Yeah, like
he might get executed.
Yeah, like I think Gaethje was even Gaethje was a one-time All-American, and that was kind of underachieving, Like a little bit more, I think, was expected out of him in wrestling. And he was a super hard worker, like he fucking... Wrestling since he was 4, like he can grapple. I think he's going to be tough for Khabib to take down.
I tell you what, Usman's still up there with him for this training camp. For sure.
Oh, 100%. And then, I don't know, you'd know better than I would. Like, I don't know what the medicine is for it as far as altitude. I think they say you're supposed to train at sea level, but sleep at altitude is better for you. But I'm sure there's benefits to training at altitude.
Yeah, it's better overall.
Well, I've heard mixed reviews on that. I've heard, like, some people say that it's better to train at sea level than sleep at altitude. Like sleep in an oxygen tent or something. But then I think the science...
Right, no, I mean, if you could train at altitude... Well, if you could train at altitude and feel great, that raises your VO2 max even higher.
Yeah, well, Gaethje lives in altitude, trains in altitude, sleeps in altitude. So
where's the fight, though? Denver?
It'll probably be Vegas.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he has cardio. Like we've seen Gaethje slow down a little bit in a couple fights. We've seen him lose, but Khabib, the way that we've seen Gaethje lose, Khabib's not beating him that way. You know what I mean? Khabib's not winning a slugging contest and TKOing him, I don't think. Very slim. If Khabib beats him,
I would never say never, but
history would show that, not happening, but
on paper.
Yeah. If he does beat Gaethje, he's grinding him out or he's submitting him on the ground. But, like, that's something else.
I could see Khabib choking him really bad.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be tough to keep him there. Have we ever really seen Gaethje out-grappled like that? His grappling is underrated, if you will. He's very, very scrambly. He usually pops right up. But then Khabib is Khabib. Khabib's the best grappler.
Yeah.
Like, I always think of his cage wrestling's the best. His submissions are really, really good. But then I always think of that thing that, what's his name said when we had Sean Bunch on, who Sean Bunch, is a fucking stud wrestler.
Yeah.
He said, like, oh, he can't take me down open mat. And then I always think of the shit Sean Bunch said to us, and then I look at the Al Iaquinta fight. The moments when Iaquinta wasn't getting backed up against the cage and was able to defend some takedowns and whatnot, it could get interesting. And then, like we were talking cardio,
where on paper, Gaethje's a better wrestler than
Al. Yeah, it's interesting.
But would you say that Gaethje's a better striker than Al?
Close. I think Al might be a better boxer, a little straighter and crisper. But this new Gaethje, where he picks...
Al also took it on, like, short notice, kind of.
One day. But,
yeah,
but he had trained for a 3-round fight. He was supposed to fight someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've said that, and that's what people rip me apart for, too. In that Can Anyone Beat Khabib video, is I said, like, oh, well, Al has a chance of beating Khabib. And people were like, he got fucking destroyed. He didn't get destroyed. He got beat up on one day's notice, not preparing for Khabib. He was preparing for a brawl with Paul Felder.
Right. And those are two different fights.
Way different fights. And then he got a grappling match trying not to get smothered by Khabib. But yeah, super interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like you had some other topics. Is that it?
I'm going to have to look at the odds, and then that's how I'll probably make my pick, and then we'll see if Khabib wants to come on Menace and the Man, because if he doesn't...
Yeah, man, I'm going Gaethje all the way until Khabib comes on the show.
And even when he comes on the show, I don't know. I might still be going Gaethje. Gaethje smokes weed. Gaethje likes to party. I don't even think Khabib...
He doesn't? No, he doesn't like to party. Well, he likes to party, he just can't.
What do you mean? Yeah, but he does party. He drinks. He smokes weed. Khabib does neither.
He never knows who he's going to fight against, so he doesn't really drink that much.
Yeah, but I'm sure he does drink.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say this, I'm not hating on nobody who don't drink. If you don't drink, more power to you. But I think if we hung out, if you threw a party in your backyard and you invited Khabib and Justin Gaethje, you're vibing out with Justin Gaethje way more than Khabib. Yeah. You'll be like, oh shit, me and Justin Gaethje are boys. You'd be like, oh shit, Khabib was here. I talked to him for like 2 minutes, What did I talk about? I thought I sent you some things.
You did. Hang on, I thought you had him ready to rock and roll.
Oh my god, yeah. Tyson versus Roy Jones.
Right.
So now...
You had...
a private conversation.
Yeah. about that.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it. Am I going to watch it?
You're so shocked.
Am I going to watch it? Absolutely.
You don't want to watch it.
I don't. Because it's 54-year-old Mike Tyson versus 51-year-old Roy Jones. It's not 2003. They're both not even remotely close to their prime. Mike Tyson, like this is something I said to you. And
Hang on. I think you're going to be surprised. Like, knowing their age, keeping their age in mind, you're going to be like, holy fuck.
I don't know.
Like, my dad, when he was 54, couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like...
No. I'm not going to be surprised by what they can do at their old age. Because I'm going to know... So here's the thing, too. Oh, excuse me. Mike Tyson...
What if he somehow looks exactly like he did when he was younger?
Then that would be amazing. And he would defy the laws of physics, time, biology, everything.
Would you feel like an asshole?
No. I would wonder what... I would ask for him to be urine tested, and I'd wonder what he was on.
You would ask for him to be urine tested?
I wouldn't ask him personally. I would wonder in my head what the fuck was he on. And I would come on Menace and the Man and say, yeah, they should drug test both of them. Because he's on...
Stan, you know they're both on something already. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the only way that he's even going to remotely look like Mike Tyson in night. That's the thing, too.
Well, it's slightly modified. What? How long are the rounds? There's only 8 rounds.
I'd have to look that up, but
they're not longer than 2 minutes.
It's only 8 rounds. There's not going to be a winner unless it's going to be a draw, unless there's a knockout or a stoppage.
I think it's 2 minute, 8 minute round. 2 minute rounds. 8 rounds. 8 2-minute rounds, sorry. Jeez.
They're going to be lacing up 12-ounce gloves.
Okay.
And that's the thing too, like I said to you. Mike Tyson, his last couple fights, didn't look good. And that was 15 years ago. So now all of a sudden you're going to tell me 15 years later because, I feel like fighting, I got this. You know what I mean?
Right. You spoke about Roy Jones' last fight was like 2018, right?
Roy Jones was 2018.
At what weight?
I believe cruiserweight.
Which is 185?
190-ish. Let me see. Knockout. Alright, I'm not seeing. I'd have to go deeper.
Either way, they're both legends in my head that I would have always paid to watch. Like, if I'm not invited to a party that's watching it, I'm buying it myself. For sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Like, I am buying that fight before I buy Conor McGregor versus, I don't know, Holloway.
I don't know about that. That's the thing too. So Roy Jones was my favorite boxer. Before that, Mike Tyson. When I was a little fucking kid, Mike Tyson. Yeah. But here's the thing too. Like I remember even when Mike Tyson got out of prison, like going to my uncle's house.
He served some time.
Yeah, I remember going to my uncle's house, sitting on the floor, watching that shit, and then it lasted like fucking whatever, 2 minutes. What was that fight? Let me see.
You think Roy Jones comes out to his own song?
Yeah. More. Y'all must have forgot.
Yeah.
That's what's coming out.
Oh my God. If he comes out to that song, I gotta go Roy Jones.
But here's the thing. Like, that Mike Tyson, like, first off, they're doing an amazing job editing the shit that they're uploading of Mike Tyson. Like, the Mike Tyson that everyone's thinking of existed in 1989, 1988.
Maybe he's doing exactly what you're seeing for 30 minutes.
Maybe.
I don't know that.
I hope he is. But I'm saying, like...
Hater.
No, I just think that they're old.
Don't. You're ruining it for yourself.
No.
Don't look into it too much.
This.
See what you see and say, "Yep, I'm gonna watch."
No. I'm absolutely gonna watch and I'm gonna enjoy it. But I'm just saying, like, it's the equivalent to like, oh, Vanderlei and Chael are fighting, but they're both 44. All right, I'm gonna watch. Oh, so they're doing the Ken Shamrock Hoist Gracie rematch. All right, I'm gonna watch, and then I'm just gonna be like,
so what you're saying is you don't get your hopes up for a barn burner.
People are like, oh my God, Tyson versus Roy Jones, 1989 Tyson versus 1996 Roy Jones. No, it's 2020 Roy Jones versus 2020 Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
I feel like people are building it up like.
It's like they're playing a video game. Like Mike Tyson in this game, he's 99 knockout power. Roy Jones is 99 speed. Who's gonna win?
Yeah, it's like you're playing a video game, and it's like, oh shit! So I could fight I could be Roy Jones when he was like the heavyweight champion in 2003, or I could be like Roy Jones when he was like the.
I would love to know. Listen, I know they're both taking it serious, but I wonder to what extent. Is Mike Tyson sitting down with a sports psychologist like once a week and going over, you know what I mean? Or is Mike Tyson not having a couple of beers? Is he like on a strict diet? Is he doing 2-a-days? Like, I want to know these things kind of. Or it's just like, yeah, I train 5 times a week.
I mean, we could shoot those shots and try. That'd be a dream to get Mike Tyson or Roy Jones on the show. I don't think it's the most far-fetched thing.
Yeah.
And I do know that something I saw recently, and I think it's true. I'm going to have to do I saw CES is who's promoting it. You know, the one that John Gotti fights in Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. So I become pretty friendly with those guys that's where Space Monkey lives in Rhode Island. I've partied with them. I've had drinks with them many times. I have all of their phone numbers in my phone. Like, if that's who's promoting it, we definitely have a little bit. I'm sure they have endless people that would be hitting them up, but our messages might not go unnoticed.
So you're shooting the shot.
Well, I'm saying even worst case.
Put my name on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying even worst case, we get the guy who's promoting it on. You know, Jimmy Birchfield.
Okay.
And we talk like, you know, had this come about, like,
yeah,
you know, we'll
I actually love that idea, Stan.
Yeah.
Nice job.
We'll get some good intel into that.
Well, I mean, I had something and left my brain. I hate when that happens.
I mean, another thing that I did mention to you was the Aljo and Peter Yan going back and forth.
Yeah, he's been doing that even before Peter Yan got the title.
Yeah, but now he's calling Yan a paper champion.
Now, what exactly does that mean?
He got handed a title. He never beat anybody.
Like, on paper, you're the champion?
Yeah.
That belt's not really yours?
Yeah, precisely.
Right.
But here's the thing. Something I said a couple episodes ago. To become a champion, or no, I said it actually a while ago. I said it when we were talking to Alex Volkanovski about who he might fight. To become a number one contender and get a title shot, you either had to beat a guy who fought for the title or a former champion. And now last week, when I was talking to Alp, I played devil's advocate and I started thinking, why isn't Dana talking about Aljamain like he's the next guy in line? Maybe he thinks Aljamain doesn't have that win yet. So I thought even Corey Sandhagen versus Aljamain could have been for the title. Should have been for the title. I think at that point they were both ranked higher than...
Oh, I think it should have been Aljamain versus Peter Yan.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I think what Aldo did was, so Yan never beat a champion, beat Uriah Faber, but Uriah wasn't a UFC champion, beat Uriah Faber, who was also 40. Yan never beat a champion, never held the title. Aljamain never beat a champion, beat Renan Barão, you know, the 135-pound champion when he moved up to 45. Or no, beat him at 35, but that was, you know, I guess that's one of his biggest wins.
Fucko. What do you mean?
I just feel like that's the win you need. So, all right, that's his win, is Barao. But he beat Barao like 6 fights ago. Since then, he's lost to Marlon Moraes. Granted, he's won 5 in a row. He lost to Marlon Moraes.
Who was the number 1 contender and has fought for a title?
But that's what I'm saying is, if Dana White's not saying Aljamain's the next title contender, it's because he thinks Marlon Moraes might be the next title contender. Or, like we've talked about with the Instagram followers, if Cody Garbrandt wants that shot, $2.5 million, you got it. You know what I mean? It should, and I'm just playing,
like
bro.
If I'm Aljamain and I'm in that position,
you know me, I'm ride or die for Aljamain. I think Aljamain should be the champion right now. I think he.
No, what I'm saying is, if he gets jumped again, I'd be like, yo, I'm not fighting for this organization then. This is
so. There's a realm where, and I think it's going to be a really tough fight for him, Pedro Munoz. But there's a realm where if Frankie Edgar 30-second knocks out Pedro Munoz, or if Frankie Edgar combination into a flying knee knocks out Pedro Munoz, and then goes, Peter Yan, you're next, motherfucker. UFC 250, UFC 257, Peter Yan versus Frankie Edgar. Like, that's just how the fight game works. It's fucked up, but like, hang
on. Do you think Dana White's waiting for that fight to happen before he goes, all right, Aljo, you're in?
Have you seen any of the clips with Dana White? The media, at the fights, they go, all right, question. Dana, Peter Yan just won this fight, or Peter Yan and Aljamain are going back and forth. Is Aljamain the number 1 contender? And Dana, he definitely isn't doing it on purpose, but he'll be like, what'd you say? Who? And then they'll be like, Aljamain Sterling, is he next for Peter Yan? They'll ask it twice, and he'll go, yeah, we're looking at a couple of guys for that. I don't know yet. He will not say Aljamain is next. That's partly why Aljamain went on this little tirade of posting like, yo, what the fuck? Like, it's, to me, honestly speaking, it should be Aljamain all day, I think. I think Moraes had his fight. He had his title fight. He got smoked by Henry Cejudo. But on paper,
Henry's gone now, though.
Exactly. And on paper, if you look at both of their, like I was saying to Al,
if Henry was still there, yes, it's Cejudo all day. Let's say Peter had a shot.
But I'm saying here, if you look at their last 6 fights, they're both 5-1. And what's the difference in there is Yan lost to Moraes lost to Cejudo, who's Henry fucking Cejudo. Doubleweight champion, Olympian. Aljamain's loss because he got knocked out by Marlon Moraes. Like, so here's the thing too. I don't think Aljamain did anything. Like, I doubt he has a thing with Dana White where it's like, oh, Dana doesn't like him or anything. I think it's just some weird thing. Like, maybe Dana White was cage side when he lost to Moraes and watched that, and that's what's in his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something. Dana White has some type of thought process that's going into him not being like Aljamain's next.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm saying, I'm speculating, and like I said, I was just trying to play devil's advocate of why, because usually you know how Dana is. If you're next, Dana...
You know how... Maybe in Dana's head, he thinks Marlon Moraes has more of a chance. Because that's what makes the UFC kind of exciting, is like changing in titles, or titles going back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Or that one guy that nobody can fucking beat. Which actually, I'm actually gonna take that back. Like, for example, like when Ronda Rousey was on her, reign, it was like, she's just gonna armbar the chick in like 4 minutes,
Yeah. But even that, like, just no one's on that run right now. Like, Yan versus Aljamain is gonna be a war. A stylistic matchup of Jan going forward and Aljamain doing that fucking, the funk. Yeah. Like that crazy counter punching. Like Aljamain lulls you into his fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's counter fighting. But
coronavirus still?
No, I'm drinking some Great South Bays. So, yeah, I've been good. I've been cleared. Bro,
drink or
yeah, I went for a run yesterday. I'm gonna go for another run tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I watched that like motivated me to run? I watched Forrest Gump.
Where he just ran forever?
Yeah, he just took off running one day. I mean, I'm not doing that, but So Aljamain versus Peter Yan. Hopefully it happens. Another thing before we wrap up. They said, Cody Garbrandt asked for permission to drop to 125 to fight however you pronounce it, Figueredo.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I would be like, I don't want nothing to do with that fucking guy. That guy was scary. Did you get to watch that fight, him versus Benavidez?
I just saw the results and I was like, what? One-sided? Like, people were saying it looked like Benavidez was a novice.
Yeah. He dropped him four, at least 3 times.
The fight went way too long,
Yeah. It was tough to watch. Being a Benavidez fan, having met him, hung out with him a little bit, yes, I was like, damn.
That hurts me.
You being his boy, having that ongoing joke of where people get you too confused. Like, we've we've played phone tag a little bit with Benavidez about getting him on the show, but, yes, I wanted Benavidez to win that so bad. I was like, Benavidez all day.
How many titles has he fought for?
4 or 5.
Which is insane.
Well, wait. 4 or 5 in the UFC. I think he's fought for 6 total in WEC as well. Yeah, tough. But that dude, Figueredo, was just not today. Bam. He dropped.
There's a little age difference now.
Between.
An old bull versus a young calf, or.
I believe so. I think that dude Figueredo.
Well, also, hang on. So we talk about having so many rounds.
It was almost like he caught Benavidez right in the fucking face a bunch of times. It was almost like, I don't want to throw shade on him, but it was almost like Benavidez's chin was gone. But
I was thinking about fighting, and Benavidez was the guy in the WEC.
Yeah.
I was thinking about fighting.
Yeah. Benavidez is 35. The other dude, Davison Figueredo, is 32. But Figueredo looked a lot bigger than him.
Yo, but what about that Instagram post I sent you about people in Brazil or Russia being tested?
Oh, remember Caitlin Chukagian raised that argument. And it's totally fucking true. Yeah. You're telling me if a guy came, so Khabib's a Russian fucking treasure, if some fucking random Russian dude goes to
Russian. USADA, United States Doping Association.
Yeah, but I'm saying so they're not going to send it. I mean, maybe they would. No, they said, they have people from, so USADA subs out.
Works with WADA.
And they sub out the work.
World Organization Doping.
Yeah, and they sub out the work. So I think I know here, I don't know if you remember, Quest Diagnostics would be the company that would come and test you. A little fucking hoopty station wagon pulls up and it says Quest Diagnostics on the side. And this guy hops out yo, let me see your dick. I got to watch you pee. You know what I mean?
They show up in personal cars here.
Yeah, all right, but I've seen the Quest Diagnostics truck driving. So that's the same thing in Brazil. So they're going to find a drug testing agency in Brazil, and that's who they hire to collect their samples. So you're going to tell me in Russia or wherever the fuck, if you're a fan of the guy or if there's some element of organized crime.
So I don't want to interrupt you, my friend. You do UP.
For instance, like remember Vanderlei Silva when he got in trouble for avoiding a drug test?
He was in the United States.
In Vegas. You're telling me if that was Brazil and they were like, listen, his pee is his pee, you're going to take this cup and test this fucking cup. Now get the fuck out of the gym or you're going to die. We're going to kill you. Or police love this fucking guy, so he's going to beat you up if you ask him to piss again. Get the fuck out of the gym. Take this cup. Okay, you're here to drug test fucking Vanderlei Silva? You pee in the cup, and if it's dirty, you're going to fucking die. You know, like just 10 different ways. Like even that's what Caitlin said. Caitlin was like, if they pay $50, and even the conversion rate, like the American dollar, for instance, we'll talk about Thailand. The American dollar in Thailand, the conversion rate's like 3 to 1, 4 to 1. Like an American dollar.
No, but with that post I sent you, it's like, she's like, I trained in Taiwan for six months. I was in Brazil for 3 months before that. Never got tested. As soon as I got to the United States, got tested.
Who said this?
I sent you. I sent it to you. I forget. I think a Russian-ish.
Was it Valentina?
Not Valentina.
I remember you sending it to me, but I can't remember who.
Blonde chick.
I can't remember who it was. Oh, Yana Kunitskaya.
Yes.
Her and Thiago Santos both said, like, yeah. Bro, 100%. Like, I think Americans are more tested because it's USADA.
Right.
Yeah, controversy.
Whatever.
All right, well, we'll wrap this up. I'm still alive. Stan the Man 1, COVID 0. And if they take me, Menace will just find a new co-host and continue with this show.
You guys can start sending in applications. Just post on the link, and Dan's gonna get a clip here to say, "Hey, I'm game. Make me a co-host." And I'll look you up and we'll see what you got.
Menace wants headshots, chest shots, and far shots displaying your tan. That's how he's going to pick the new co-host.
And computer skills.
And computer skills are fourth. Yeah, he'll figure that out. But we'll call this episode 87. Menace, it was good seeing you.
It was good seeing you too, dude.
Yeah, maybe we'll do this again sometime.
All right. Well, see you later.